Joey Yap is the founder and master trainer of the Mastery Academy of Chinese Metaphysics, a global organization devoted to the world teaching of Feng Shui, Bazi, Mianxiang, and other Chinese metaphysics subjects. Joey is also the CEO of Yap Global Consulting, a Feng Shui and Chinese astrology consulting firm. And now let us explore Feng Shui in greater detail in Discover Feng Shui with Joey Yap.
Thank you for joining me again this week. Now in today's program, we're actually going to focus on Feng Shui for health. Now last week, we actually already talked about Feng Shui for romance. In case you have missed out of any of our topics in the previous programs, make sure you log on to joeyyap.com and download the notes for the previous episodes. Now in case you are joining us new in our program, let me just first reintroduce what Feng Shui is to you. Now, Feng Shui that actually practiced today, there are two versions. One of the versions is actually called New Feng Shui, New Age Feng Shui, and the other version is actually Classical Feng Shui. Now, Classical Feng Shui actually focuses on the environment and how we tap to the Qi from the certain environment features and tap into a certain direction for a certain type of premises. So two things we actually consider, direction and location. Now, sometimes people, when they practice Feng Shui, they think that, oh, I have to decorate my place with tigers and dragons everywhere to make good Feng Shui. Now, actually, that sort of things is actually more related to culture and superstition rather than it is Feng Shui. Feng Shui actually is very subtle. All that it matters is certain direction, what type of direction you tap into, and which location you are in. And in order to practice Classical Feng Shui, you just have to consider two very important factors when you consider, first of all, is the direction suitable for your type of business or your house? And is the location itself supporting your endeavors? Two important factors you have to consider. When you say, wait, do Feng Shui to what? You must first know what you want in order to practice the correct type of Feng Shui to get what you want. Now, is the Feng Shui answer to all your goals in life or not? Actually, Feng Shui only represents 1/3 of all your endeavors. Because there's such a thing called heaven luck and such a thing called man luck. Heaven luck is actually your destiny. What you're born with and what you do, what you have. And as well as man luck represents what you do, your decisions you make, and the beliefs that you have about yourself. That's very important to understand. Now, Feng Shui helps us in the environment. Which type of direction, what type of location that we actually place ourselves in to benefit from the environment to help us in our endeavors. Today's program, I actually have Mr. Eric Leong here, and we are actually at one of his many clinics in KL, and he's a specialist in Chinese orthopedics. And maybe Eric, you can tell us something about what Chinese orthopedics is about?
Yeah, in Chinese medicine, we have a variety scope of healing. We are specializing in Theta, means Chinese orthopedics, mainly deal with dislocations, fractures, as well as sports injuries.
I think many people don't understand the difference between Theta and acupuncture. Maybe you can give us some details on the differences here.
In the modern form, like medical terms, acupuncturists or acupuncture, they are more dealing with nerve, whereas the orthopedics, we are dealing more on the bones and joints. This is what our main business.
And I understand that you have many branches all over Kuala Lumpur, and I think that this is really interesting to actually have a look at your Feng Shui and see why are you so successful, and why so many people come to you and they get healed very quickly. So I think that will be interesting for everyone to watch.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to have a look at your place, and before that, we see when we start checking the Feng Shui of a place, we must always start with measuring the direction. And then we're going to look at what the environment, how the environment actually influences this particular property. So let's have the measurement of the direction before we actually begin. And the direction here is actually facing northeast. And if you look into the environment, you actually see certain mountain formations in the northeast. And if you look towards the left here, you actually see the mountain formations here towards the northwest and the north. And beyond this point is actually Genting Highlands over here. These are the hills beyond that. So it will be interesting to actually inspect how these type of mountains influence the property. Now many times people do Feng Shui, the first thing to do is they go inside and check the internal Feng Shui. Now that part is called internal Feng Shui. Your internal Feng Shui is only good when your external Feng Shui is good. Where else does the Qi come from? The Qi actually comes from the external environment into the internal environment. Without the proper location, proper direction, the Qi inside the property will not work. Therefore, we're going to check that property. And of course, you look at this type of mountain formations and embracing the property. When it embraces the property, it emits a type of Qi for this property to collect. And what we need to do is plot out a specific flying star chart on 8-dimensional chart to see what type of Qi is received to the property. And you will see that here is actually a road junction towards the left. The Qi, the water mark, actually comes from the north towards this property. And north, in the study of Xuan Kong Feng Shui, it's actually called the Ling San Wai, one of the direct experience. And actually this property will last at least for 30 to 40 years of good fortune. And actually helps in healing, because northeast you see certain kind of mountain formations. Northeast is called a Wong Sing, for people luck. And actually this supports health related issues. One of the things that you can also see for your own house. So let's go inside and have a look at the internal feng shui of this property. Wow, nice place.
Thank you. How is my feng shui in this reception area?
Good question. This is the first thing you want to check out, isn't it? Now, in order to check the feng shui of this property, the first thing that we want to do is we want to plot out a chart for this property. Now, your property here faces northeast. When it faces northeast, it actually sits on the southwest sector. Since it sits on the southwest, there's a Kun Gua chart in 8 mansions. So this is your Kun Gua chart. Now, at the northeast sector, you actually see here is the Xing Qi sector of the property. And your door is already located at the Xing Qi of the property, therefore it receives good Qi in your area here. So already it's a good door.
Thank you.
Right? And very important thing is you have open space. Open space from the Xing Qi door collects the Qi, pull the Qi in and circulates it throughout your property. That's a very good feature.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. And one more thing is that, how about the money plant here? That Manti said is good for feng shui.
Oh yes, our old folks normally tell us that the plants, certain type of plants represents good fortune. Now, the plants here actually, contrary to popular belief, actually does not emit any type of wealth chi whatsoever. The plants themselves is an element of wood, and that's it. It doesn't attract the wealth. What actually helps you in your business over here is actually the location of this door and the vicinity mountains you have from the outside to this property. Right? Whether you place the plant here or not doesn't affect the feng shui, so don't worry about it.
I'm glad. And one more thing is that the lamppost, people say is Ding Sam Chi. Is that affecting my place?
Sometimes, if it's directly in front of the door, then yes, it is actually blocking the qi. However, if you look carefully from where you're standing now, look out from the border of your door. From the frame of the door, you see outwards, the lamppost is actually outside the radiance of this door. Therefore, it is actually not blocking the qi. You don't have to worry about that.
I'm glad.
Okay,
Yes.
Now we're going to take a short commercial break right now, and when we come back, we're going to look at Eric's office inside his clinic. Okay, the first thing that we want to do is we're going to find out where this particular treatment room is located within the context of the property. Now, we already know that your property faces northeast too. Therefore, it already has a what we call number 2 Kun Gua chart that we have. So on your screen right now, you will see this is a Kun Gua number 2 chart. And this particular treatment area is actually located in the west sector of the property. And the west sector, as you know, is the Tian Yi sector of the property. And Tian Yi is actually the Heavenly Doctor sector, which means you have located your treatment area in one of the best possible locations according to the Feng Shui. And Tian Yi actually helps with healing. Therefore, if you do your treatment in this room, it heals your patient better. It makes your work much more easier too.
Oh, that's good. And I have a question. What is a good feng shui for my patient?
For the patients, what they can do for themselves.
Why is that?
That's important. Now, sometimes you actually can tell your patients, first of all, find their own Tian Yi direction. Okay, their own Heavenly Doctor direction, and they can do that by the simple formula. In our previous episodes, they already seen some of the formulas that they can use. In fact, you can ask them to download some of these formulas from my website, joeyyap.com, on your screen right now. And go for the Tian Yi direction, tap in that direction, and also based on the house gua, they should actually use the Heavenly Doctor sector. In fact, they heal faster this way.